takes it to take us to a third map. I can't wait to see what they have here on this attack.
I'm definitely hoping for that one, Den, for sure. And them taking the attack to start things off here, and you see the standard double stars from the defenders of Zoms at the entrance of that A site in the choke. Even the recon dart to find information. It's clear, early rotate right now, and it's looking to be fairly quick inside the garage, and they're adapting already. Look at that, FRC's already up B.
And Sick able to take down one with such a deep position. Sick is causing a lot of problems here towards spawn. He's just holding his position at this point. He's done so much good work. Nice one from Sudicast to try to make things a little bit easier, but it's still very, very difficult. Sudicast with the frenzy, not the best at that range, but making it work for now. However, Sick and Tens will finish things off. Fantastic round from Sick. I think he got 3 out of it. And Sentinels start off with a bang.
I'm actually liking this. This is a good taste of what we could expect throughout the rest of this map here, Dan, because Icebox, it was a lot of timing we talked about, and we gave credit to Vikings how they were playing more defaulty, slow, trying to force to rotate out here from Sentinels. But in this map, just off this piss around, I could expect, just because of how many angles you have into the C site, how you could get control of Garage and maybe try to split into B, the splits into the A site. There could be some very heavy splits going on the aggression from Vikings, but as I say that, it's Sentinels that's bringing that aggression instead.
Yeah, that's a little bit scary. They're really feeling it at the moment, just going for those aggressions, as you say, on the anti-eco, not afraid of anything. Leaving Vikings reeling after that one. They've only got 3 players left, 2 of which
low HP. Up. Yep.
And Shazam with a forward position here too on A lobby, so not all that much working here for Vikings. They've got the Sheriff in the hands of Sassy, but also the weakest player on the teams.
Yeah, everything's on lockdown. Because now Zoms could actually body peek, he could use the ability. There you go, there's a gravity well. They're pushing towards the A side. They have a trap wire towards Garage. It just got broken. They have all the information in the world for Sentinels now.
Yeah, Sick is just holding a really safe position. 1 by 1. And Sick will take down Sassy as well. This is a really bad prospect as well, because Sick already has the run it back available. Because of all of the kills he's had in the... I mean, he's got 6 kills, so he's got more than enough kills to get that run it back online, and the Prime Gaming Flawless had a lot of those.
And this is where it gets scary, Dan, because yesterday when Sentinels played against Fnatic, we saw a lot of clutch plays. We saw some very close plays, and it came down to the wire from Sentinels to be able to win this map. I think it was 13-11. And somebody that was quiet in that series was Sick, where we know the combination of him and Tens together could be very strong. Cast him in North America, the combination of the curveball with the op coming out from Tens at the same time could be detrimental for any team that faces against him. But now that he's online already with a run it back in round 3, oof, I'm scared.
Yeah, for sure. It is very scary. So much momentum here for Sick. A player that they would likely also be just farming the ultimate orbs onto anyway.
Yep.
In these defaults. Vikings looking for the best way to attack here, knowing that they're going to be against a heavy bonus. Rotation through to A. Spotted by Shazam.
Standing ahead.
And that's even deniability. The recon's good enough to get information.
Yep. So to slow things down, you can see that this is forced a rotation on the minimap. And we're actually getting Vikings falling out, but they might reset back in. The thing is that they don't have much time here to mess around at this point.
30 seconds left.
And Sentinels, 4 players towards C, so they're somewhat convinced that this will be a C play. Dapper with the cam. He's going to spot it. Here comes the play. Dapper's going to go straight in front of it. He's going to just force them to fight in this choke point. It's not a good look. There is not much time on the clock here to get the spike planted. In fact, they might go for a 4-man save.
Yeah.
In fact, that's exactly what's happening. Oh my. It would actually be awesome if Sudicast could get some frags. Sadiki instead will be the one to get a frag. Ooh, don't give up any kills. Oh, okay, there we go. So
Hey, yeah, you're right. It's a bonus round, right, for Sentinels, Dan. So I get it. It's like, oh, it's so close. Just don't die at this point. You sacrificed enough. And even then, even if you don't sacrifice kills, don't get damaged by the long-range chip damage that you can get from the Spectres. Because now, if you're going to force to buy armor, just like we see right now from FRZ, then you're going to be low on money no matter what into the next round, right? Because you're forcing the full buy. That said, though, for Sentinels, you could see how annoying it could be playing against an Astra. You're trying to run a last-second play into the C site. They didn't even need to come into contact at first. A camera to spot things up, a second camera to come back up here from Dapper, and then you have the gravity well, and nobody's able to come in for a plant. This time, though, just trying to play aggressive into the B site. We're trying to get an early plant for Vikings.
Sick there with the curveballs, just like so much good defensive utility coming through. Intense there with the push from the back as well. Sick is closing distance with these attackers, and he's doing so much damage. They're pinned in the corner. There's nowhere to go. Just Sudicast left now, coming from spawn. 1v3. Spike down in no man's land. Ooh, almost spammed down completely. And they know exactly where Sudicast is. And there we go. Shazam will take him down. And going faster didn't work here for Vikings. I liked the idea. Barreling into the B site, but Sentinels are quite ready for that. You know, just the point you were making with the utility from Astra and so on. It's very good at helping with these very fast plays. Oh my God.
Shock darts.
That's beautiful. I'd love to see that.
Geometry from Shazam coming in here with the shock darts for double damage too on top of that, and he comes out a window for the kill. But I gotta say, it brings me back, Dan, to the days where Sentinel Shazam came in from an interview. It's like, hey, if North America teams want to play aggressive against us, we could do the same thing. And they're doing exactly the same type of play style that Vikings or any Brazilian team would do currently, is just bring the fight to them. And even on the Fender side, pushing aggressively for map control is definitely a detriment right now for Vikings, because now they're forced to play default, they're forced to play slow, they're forced to play spread off across the map, where even a 2 versus 1 push, it's an even trade, and it's still a victory for Sentinels because you want to take those on your side on defenders.
Down a player already. Snodiki sits on the bench watching over his team as they try to take some garage control, and a reload was heard. 6 reload. There's the curveball though. That's going to confirm some information. Shazam's walked out mid as well. I don't know that they would expect that. Ooh, 6 gonna get challenged. Trying to escape, actually. I think he is not exactly sure where he was going, but Shazam is going to be able to get a huge timing on this flank. Dapper, the master of delay, in the site. Shazam is going to isolate the garage players.
Seconds left.
And now Dapper spotted the remaining 2 in C long, and it doesn't seem like they can just really combine their forces whatsoever. Everybody's picked apart in this round for Vikings. They just can't quite seem to find their footing, Vansili. Like, they can't play their game.
Yeah, the only thing that worked pretty much at the beginning of that round was kind of like a 6 versus 4, because when Sick got actually blinded and tried to fall back, I think he jumped into Zom's gravity well. So I kind of sucked him out of position for him to get picked off there by GTN, sorry. And yes, like you said here, Dan, nothing seems to be working because they're losing a lot of map control on mid side. Yes, they're gaining garage, but they're losing then again from B side pushes down to under window. And they need a little bit more coming out of that, I think, from Sadak, where maybe he could start throwing those cameras up towards the grass side, towards the B entrance, just to try to prevent these pushes, or at least getting that information.
Oh my God, it's a huge Hunter's Fury from Shazam. Oh, that's absolutely huge, taking down 2 players at the beginning of the rounds. Ooh. It's hard to watch.
Desperation right now here,
yeah.
Dan.
It's
you got a question mark right now, right? Or question marks are above your head, just trying to figure out what answer can we actually bring here against Sentinels. Now, not only do they have to think about like map control and all that too, but also now utility ultimates that are available for Sentinels that they had to be wary of on these aggressive pushes.
Yeah, it's kind of like we talked about before with regards to how Fnatic, sort of struggled to make their attacking side work. It was the C splits that worked out for Fnatic, but we'll get back into that in a moment as we have Sentinels here defending the B side and able to get so many kills through smokes here as well. Such a good read of the situation from Sentinels. Sadiki left in a terrible spot.
30
And
seconds left.
ooh,
Last
Dapper,
player
the master
standing.
of the jiggle. And GTN will go down for the Prime Gaming Flawless. And yeah, it seems like, so it's the similar issues as to what Fnatic had with Sentinels, whereby they couldn't really win a lobby against Shazam and or Tens.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, like, we had such good retakes on the C site if the C splits actually won the C site. But even then, sometimes just winning garage control was very difficult. And the retakes that Sentinels had into the B site when the attackers were going for the B side option was also very good. So it doesn't really seem like there is a clear weakness. It seems to be more the case that you have to have very good tactics and coordination around some of these positions, garage, A lobby, to be able to just legit win those spots from the likes of Tens and Shazam and Sick and so on. You have to have that in your playbook.
Agreed. And even when you're looking at this now, GTN going for potentially another hero blood, but definitely a lot weaker. And I feel like if it's not this round, potentially the next round, Vikings has a lot of chances to get the first point on the board, simply due to the fact of the amount of ultimates they currently have. This is why I'm debating if this timeout is going to be a debate to see, hey, should we actually go for some sort of a buy? How can we use our ultimates right now and capitalize on currently where Sentinels are currently being placed? Because Zoms doesn't have a Cosmic Divide for a retake. Tens also is one away from Bladestorm. This is like a small window of opportunity for them to maybe capitalize on their own ultimates, get that first point on the board, and if they do have some sort of force buy coming in, then they add 3,000 credits into their victory to even add more into the bank later on. But it seems as though it's just going to be, okay, we have a chef. Yeah, they're going for the force buy, so let's see what happens.
We will see, indeed. It is interesting, too, because in terms of like how good Sentinels are and how well-rounded they are, I do feel like Vikings did show one successful round previously. We'll get back into that in a moment, as we'll see what the opener looks like for them with this half
Control,
there.
probably. They want to fight for A control and potentially just ult everything into the A site.
So many ultimates indeed. Sentinels can play retake very effectively. Soms and Thames both won away from their ultimates respectively. Vikings trying to also, I like that they're playing this slower, making sure that, were Sentinels to try to run a play for information in the early to mid round, that they would be able to catch it, Vikings. Pressuring garage here, so might start to convince Sentinels that this is going to start to feel like a C play once the garage pressure comes through. And that's a pick on an A long, so maybe scratch that entirely because they will go off of the back of that one. Tens, though, is holding the site still. So this is a problem. And the neural theft comes through to gain more information.
And
the spike's down, and they have the site Sentinels. They are still sitting on this one. And it doesn't look like they're able to stop Tens. He's going to own absolutely everybody that tries to walk into this site. Oof, unfortunate there. Just Sudicast left, and there's no time for this one.
Yeah, only with a Sheriff and armor, I mean, you want to try to go for it, you've invested enough. Bringing that on to the next round is not going to do much. And I'm actually quite surprised here, Dan, because that was a perfect entry and a first blood, actually, to take Shazam down. They threw the Neuro Theft to get information, and that's FRZ getting into the site without popping the run it back. And I guess it was the off angle there from Tens. You're probably going to try to throw it from the, pop the run it back from the corner of the sewers. But unfortunately, just Tens gets the upper hand, just foils every single plan that Vikings had off that first blood kill. So very well done here for Sentinels to maintain their composure. They're up 7-0.
Yeah, and this time we're going to see Sen's actually working along also with Shazam. Oh, the flash comes through, caught out in the open.
Huge.
Great conversion there from Vikings, looking to send some of that action straight through to Long. Don't have to commit to anything here. They have a lot of time. You can see Shazam, he wants to know, are they doubling back off of this or are they grouping up around this? And they will try to hide from the drone, and beautifully done. Only showing GTN there taking down the drone. And just look at the mini-map. Look what this is doing to Sentinels.
Yeah, I mean, they're still guessing so far. They're starting to jiggle peek to try to get a bit of information at the same time, too, because they are one player behind. And this forces the hand of Dapper trying to push forward, and they're trying to push down towards long, too, and it works out. 6 gets the headshot, and it's tied up 4-4.
And there comes the drone here from Vikings. Sentinels will be able to slow things down. Sick is doing a great job at slowing things down. He kept hold of a curveball as well to have that additional delay possible. Vikings looking to force the action. Sitting in the cage now, Sick. Waiting for his next chance. There goes the flash. Forward delay. Still holding on to position. Holding on to time. Sentinels have that rotation in. It's going to be a hell of a fight here for Vikings. They're going to pop it through the showstopper. GTN is going to get traded out, though. And Sadiki and Sudicast doing a great job in converting all of these frags. The spike will be planted. Dapper in a 1 versus 3 as he makes his way through spawn. It is a hell of a job to find an opening here. It would have something has to be given. Gets tagged, and that's the frag. Great stuff there. What a round from Vikings.
That was so close. See, if only he knew the information of where the third player was there for Dapper, right? But definitely a great round for Vikings. Getting that first blood, killing Noise, and trying to figure things out more slowly. Yes, they got caught off guard from the curveball that came out from Sick. But even despite that, they kept their cool. They kept lurking up towards the A side, and opening with that showstopper allowed for Vikings to get into the site. So that was very much needed. We have, ironically enough, the Brazil scoreline now, 7-1 for Sentinels, but that was a round that they won with confidence here for the Vikings, and they could definitely run off this. Maybe not. Tens denies it right away with 2 op kills onto FRZ and Sase.
That's the problem for sure, and you just don't want to see that. Tens doing such a good job holding onto that position. He is so dangerous. He wants those peaks, and Sudicast actually able to jump over the trip here into the C site. Now, it feels like everything really leans on what he's able to accomplish from this. Dapper's going to just tag him with the camera. At least Sudicast is able to kill the cam, but Dapper knows what's going on here, and he's going to try to hold on to the backside position. With the Odin, it's not going to work out. And with that, there is a chance here. Sick's going to go through. The Cosmic Divide's in. Sick over the top of Log. Able to take down GTN. And that's now the Spike carrier killed. Sick is doing all kinds of shenanigans here on the site. And with that, this is a lot of Cosmic Divide.
Yep.
With that, the spike is it's going to be tough to get this planted. It's a 1v3 for Sadiki.
I'm surprised that they gave this up because I guess they didn't see that the spike was actually down. So everybody falls back to like default spots, but they could still play a retake on a 3v1. This is going to be still very difficult for Sadak to win.
Yeah, I think Sentinels must have assumed that he picked up the spike already.
Yeah.
But there we go. Zoms at the back of the site is going to just create an impossible situation for Sadiki. Well played by Sentinels once again, and they'll convert the rounds. One of the points I was going to make earlier is that, you know, this is a huge issue. You know, Tens having free reign here, doing a great job hitting those shots, and you want to see them find a way to deal with Tens to take a lobby control, because when they were able to do that, they were able to play, Vikings were able to play with the Sentinels rotations. They just did it a little bit too slowly. In one of those rounds, they got beaten out because they didn't have enough time. But I felt like they were really onto something.
I agree. I feel that they have a good composition to do that as well, although we'll talk about it later because we're looking for a split from Vikings inside the C site then.
Yeah, it's certainly, and Sassy is able to open up with the Hunter's Fury, so starts off pretty well here. Six still has that running back ready for the retake, and there we go. Running back comes through. Oh, okay. Oh, Sadaki's just going to walk straight into him. He gets taken down by the pace. Okay. Tens has the blades out. FRC with the lineup. Coming through from window, doing the damage. And now Shazam, he's got nobody left to support him. He's alone in this retake. 4 players to find. They know precisely where he is. The swing comes through. Sudicast does not care. Just takes him out. 1v1. And Vikings convert the round.
And so it's one of those examples, just like on Icebox, when there's just so much utility going on here for both of these teams that it just becomes so messy to try to take the play, take the site, or even retake here for either of these teams. Thankfully, Vikings took the upper hand. But just to get back as we have time here, Dan, I feel that the composition for Vikings, they do have a good comp to try to push back tens on such aggressive peaks here on the A side. They got JTN with the Boombot or Paint Shells. They could curveball outside of A long. They could shock dart or recon dart towards long A as well to push him back. And then that will force Sentinels to surrender the A site. The thing is, if they use that much, then they don't have too much to take the site over, and TenZ continues to go to work.
Yeah, he does. 2 kills on the board already before they've even gotten to the site. And, it just doesn't stop here. Sentinels, another Prime Gaming flawless for them. It's been so many in this half. Again, it just seems so difficult for Vikings to win the information battle. And on some of the individual plays, TenZ has free reign. How many times are we seeing TenZ get the fights that he wants?
Yeah. Very, very often right now in these battles towards long A, Dan. And at the same time, it's, again, a lack of utility, unfortunately, that for these battle for control towards A side. Yes, they're able to avoid the recon dart that gets thrown into the choke point. But outside of that, where's the curveball to come out to continue to take control of A long, or the Owl Drone to continue to push them back? And Shazam, you just saw in that replay, he puts his hands up. He's like, what's going on here? It's a little bit too easy for me right now to hold up the A side. So it feels like a reverse of how they were playing Icebox, where I'm like, okay, well, they don't have that much utility to try to push Shazam back, and they played that perfectly for Vikings. Now it's lackluster for their attack, unfortunately, here against Sentinels on this map of Haven. Double up, by the way, Dan.
And why not? It's definitely going to be a surprise because it frees up TenZ to roam here. He's on that top of the C site with his operator. Vikings in a desperately bad position overall so far in this half. Looking to contact through to the B sites. Might actually be great here. Retaking with the operators might be difficult. Flash comes through, Dapper. Looking to go for the challenge here. Challenges here. Has that Astra Smoke to work from. Neural Theft out as well to get the extra information in. They've been gifted. The spike is on the site there for Sentinels just to sit on top of. It's under their control. Locked away by the Astra Smoke. Locked away by the entire team at this point. Oh man, this is not a good look here for Vikings. They are well and truly on the struggle bus. Oh no, no, don't do it to him, Dapper, no! Oh, the humanity. Dapper denied, thank goodness.
Dapper bringing a North American flair onto the global stage here, Dan, just showing how when they're comfortable, or when they're just falling behind, or when they don't care, that's the type of Sentinels that you can see sometimes, and it shows a little bit. Like at the same time as it's fun in games, it also shows and it adds a little bit more onto Vikings. It's like, oh crap, these guys are like on fire. They're super confident. What can we do right now to try to regain control of this map? And so far, like I said, I feel it's a lack of utility that's currently being used by Vikings, but toe-to-toe, when they're able to avoid the operator of TenZ and try to fight a little bit more out of, like bring this 1v1 fights, they've had good flanks actually at the same time too, from Garage side when they were splitting up to C. So there are some weaknesses into how Sentinels were setting up. I just find that they weren't able to get that information to capitalize on these type of weaknesses that could have been exploited.
Yeah, definitely. It does feel like Sentinels are just chilling right now. They're not having to really do anything special. They're really in their comfort zone, as you mentioned. The fact that they're able to bring out the double operator is just goes to show that, you know, that they're feeling super comfortable. It's also a gear they didn't really have to go to as well. They made it work otherwise. But into the second half, we've got a pistol upon us. Vikings on the defense. Sentinels not with any quick maneuvers though. It's a lurk on A long from Dapper, looking to just contact in. He's just going to see what he can get, it looks like at this point. Spots one. Oh, he's actually forced out the paint shells. That's a big win.
And Boobot. The thing is right now, Dan, though, is this is something that Dapper does a lot, right? Put the camera up, work that A-side choke, something that Fnatic didn't take advantage of too. But look at Vikings. They never really rotated players out after using the initial utility from Raze. They still have great utility and positioning for any type of push happening towards this C side that seems to be happening.
Yeah, and now Sentinels have that garage control, working towards the C splits, and there's actually a good amount of players here for Vikings trying to hold on to the backside. TenZ though up high, able to look over all of these smokes with that ghost doing damage. 2 players now left here. It's looking grim for Vikings as they fight tooth and nail, but it's not looking all that good. GTN is the last of it here for Vikings. Frenzy outs TenZ from the side. And that's a wrap. 11-2 Vikings. Really struggling here against Sentinels.
Yeah, when I look back of how that pistol played, it seems, I'm not sure if we saw that recon dart coming out earlier on towards the A side into choke, but trying to figure out how many bodies are currently working towards that A side, I think just a recon dart could have maybe avoided the paint shells and the boom bot that was forced out from GTN. And that was just off Dapper walking up into the A site. So lack of information one more time. Here's the recon dart that's going to come this time too. And on top of that, a tactical timeout for Sentinels. I'm liking this. I'm liking this also from the point of view of Vikings. Because if they ran out of timeouts currently playing into this map versus Sentinels, this gives them more time to figure out how they want to play this. And you could see right off the bat, right off the rip, they went for a Bulldog buy and a Stinger buy, as well as shields and shares. So they were ready to play for the victory so far, Dan. So allowing this extra minute, they could regain their composure and really try to figure out how they can actually punish Sentinels on their attacker side. But the only information that they got was barely nothing, unfortunately, based off that pistol.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough world for Vikings to be living in at the moment. I think one of the difficult aspects to it as well is that, you know, Sentinels is such a strong team individually that you also have to be able to compete there first before we can talk about the tactical and strategical game. And you know, I'm hoping for Vikings that they're going to have an easier time of it here on this defense, because, you know, there's less, like, they don't have to worry about working the map as much. It's you don't have to worry about defaulting as much, trying to play the rotation game. It's more about reacting and then using the information you get from how Sentinels are playing their attack to understand the kinds of responses that you need to make. It's definitely a little bit more simplistic.
Definitely. I find that with the plays or the agent composition here, like Sentinels currently has, like somebody like Sick as this Phoenix is going to take a lot of this mid control at the same time too, and where FRZ is looking to contest it, at the beginning, but he couldn't capitalize on a kill. So far so good to try to bring that aggression out for Vikings and gain that information, forcing out the Owl drone at the same time for Shazam. But here comes an open B site, at least for Sick to force out a rotation, and Sadak's on his own.
Only nice work with the Stinger too. Repping the Stinger, love to see it. But yeah, as you mentioned, Sick in that position is definitely a problem in B. He hits a good timing on the lurk. He might catch FRZ. The timing could be brutal, but actually, FRZ gets a few free shots, unable to connect them. Sick in B, causing problems. Still will try to get out of that spot to help his teammates on the side. Dapper's incredibly low. And Shazam is on the side here with the Bulldog. He is really, I mean, I feel like that he is the Bulldog player, Shazam. We'll see what he can get with it on the ADS. It's just down to him now, and he's going to clutch it. Beautiful. Shazam with the Bulldog. That is a wonderful combination, and that's going to be game point.
Yeah. Even if the banner didn't come out, that was definitely a Red Bull clutch, because it looked pretty good for Vikings to gain the momentum back towards that pulse plant, because you mentioned it, Dan, a great position that was going to be a nuisance right now for Vikings of where Sick was currently placed inside that C-link. So for them to swing out to get those kills, to make it a 2 versus 2, and potentially even there a 2 versus 1, you're happy here that Shazam is definitely on point with that Bulldog to be able to win that in the end for Sentinels. Even though it's a 12-2 scoreline, even if it was at 11-3, you don't want Vikings, you don't want them to gain that momentum. anywhere in the second half, and you just want to close out the series now. So map point, series point, a buy coming in from both teams, but definitely a lower buy now for the defenders of Vikings. Actually, it's pretty even.
Yeah, we're pretty far away from any ults as well, so
yeah,
that's not going to come into play to take sites or to retake sites. Sentinels just creating presence across the map, looking for any possible flanking actions from C Long and making sure they have a good understanding if anyone's pushing Garage, and at the same time they're taking control here, meeting GTN sick, winning that battle. And they're going to fall back. And this is so awful. Imagine being on the receiving end of this. You're afraid of the A hit, but at the same time they could be anywhere. They reset.
FRZ has to come up huge right now, especially now that he's pinged in. This is going to be very difficult. I think he's going to have to play this passively and wait for his teammates to come back.
Ooh, good timing, though, found with the Stinger from Sadiki. That's going to even things up into a 4v4. Shazam, though, with that ADS on the Bulldog, is always good for it. FRZ still causing some issues there on the B sites. And here comes that flank. If there's distraction here for Sudicast to work off of, might be able to get 2 free ones. Knows where the second player is. Great stuff there from Sudicast. Gets the dink onto Dapper. 20 health left. Finished off. Vikings. Great discipline on that one. Great patience. And they will be rewarded. They'll stay in this. But my God, looking at the journey ahead of them, it's a scary one.
But we talked that before, maybe not on a different half. There was some weaknesses here on Sentinels on how they were playing the defense, but this time you were able to exploit one when Sentinels were playing on the attack. So very nice here for Vikings to not be afraid of the lurk that Dapper always plays with the camera down towards that A choke. So for Sudicast to be able to come out and get that flank, even getting a dink onto the third player, phenomenal job for Sudicast at the same time too. It was a much needed round, a round that they won with only 2 players alive, so technically the buy should still be okay right now for Vikings, especially when Sentinels are going to be on an eco.
Sudicast is going to go down for free, and that's, I mean, he does 22 damage. Well, first one's down to 22 health, and Sassy's going to be able to finish that one off. But this is definitely an issue here. Sentinel straight into the Hunter's Fury going forward as well. Tens with that Blaze Storm, good for the entry. And there's just 2 players left here for Vikings. This pace from Sentinels has been devastating. At least Sadiki is going to be able to get something here. FRZ with the run it back. Can there be a trade off of that? No. Tens with the jumping knives. And FRZ not in a position to do a lot here. Our hands to eliminate some positions. Actually
nice.
gets it. Zom's just stuck in that position, very low on HP. And with that said, now, oh my God, there's a chance here. FRZ against Shazam. Now he knows exactly where he is. Shazam with the peaks. Can he find a shot here? There goes the hot hands. Oh, he forces him forward. Great stuff there from FRZ. The clutch is going to be coming through shortly. There is just about enough time here for this defuse. Amazing stuff for the Red Bull clutch. FRZ keeping his team alive in this one. I did not expect them to be able to actually pull this one back.
That's when you're actually overextending, when you're that confident, it can come back and bite you. Not necessary for Tens to jump up and to go for the peak. Everything prior to that, in terms of Sentinels getting into the site, has been superb. The gravity well onto the frenzy kill that he got into sewers to punish Sudicast, going in with the Blade Storm combined with the Recon Dart and also the Hunter's Fury. But the Pulse Plant retake from FRZ, thankfully that they did a lot of damage onto Sentinels on that Pulse Plant, allows them to win that 3 versus 1. Just again, on an overextension from Tens on that 2 versus 1 that allows Vikings to stay alive.
FLC with nerves of steel, but Sentinel's going really fast into the C site right now. And once again, Tens on that high ground on the Radiant boxes. And it's looking a lot better here. Vikings still have the backside control. Zoms is going to try to push the issue. Goes down. And there's no presence here now for Sentinel's backside. They may have to give this one up, but I don't think they can afford to. The spike is down in a forward position. Sentinels are committed to this C site.
They just want to try to finish this right now, Dan, which is why they went so aggressively. But Sick does get the first kill. It's traded off, and on his 3-on-3, cornered is Sick, staying alive from the molly. And let's see if they can actually clutch it out.
Oh God, this is so awkward here for Vikings, but they make it work. Another round for the Brazilians as they fight to keep themselves alive in this one. I mean, you have to have nerves of steel for this.
And on this stage, thankfully, at least the pressure is not that far up now for Vikings because we're still in the upper bracket, right? So there's not that much pressure, but there's still the pressure to perform. Really wanted to perform well here for Vikings against Sentinels. This second map, getting 3 rounds in a row. You're building that confidence up, potentially for 4 in a row now, because you do have a smaller buy here for the attacker side, but you do have, once again, the Marshal of 10s. Gotta be careful for that one, as Sentinels are looking to push aggressively again, this time towards the A site.
Yeah, and they did this previously. You know, we had that FRZ clutch to save the day, but this previously worked quite well for Sentinels, but they're not quite as fast as before. They're not getting that opening kill that was offered up at the beginning of the round last time. Sudicast playing close around the Astra smoke. This feels quite scary indeed. 10s on that Marshal.
You are divided.
There goes the Cosmic Divide. And Sick is going to open things up, takes down Sudicast as he starts to barrel up. And there's the Showstopper, able to dodge that one. 10s is still alive. The taps, the 2-bullet dance, as you called it, comes through here for Vikings, and they are holding onto the site. Magnificent stuff there. In fact, they survived with 3 players. A great result. Looks kind of scary for a moment, but they're still in this one.
And slowly but surely, the ultimate points are also building up here, Dan. Yes, the money comes back for Sentinels into this round off this half buy, but you're definitely happy right now for the defender side that you only lost 2 players, because now it gives you that confidence of, yes, we can finally go toe-to-toe here against Sentinels. Trying to peek out against us, like you said, Dan, be more reactionary. They reacted a lot towards that A side on Sentinels, try to move in. They play the off angles, and they're able to win those fights. Continue in that fashion right now for Vikings. If Sentinels continues to overextend like this, we could definitely have a closer game. But now you have a run it back here from Sick, and he's been devastating in the past with that ultimate on this map.
Oh, what a start here coming from Vikings. The aggression from them right now. They're going is absolutely wild with this. Sick looking to answer back into Garage. Sadiki with the Odin, trying to spam it. Forwards. Sick with the entry, though. He's got to run it back available now as well. On the side, causing problems. There goes the curveball. Straight through to try to punish these players towards spawn, as Sick keeps himself going on that warpath. And Sentinels get the spike down. This was looking really good for Vikings at one point. Goes Shazam, gets the freebie. He's going to be able to reposition as well. Just causing so many issues. Oh, no. Very unfortunate for Vikings.